Hey, welcome everybody to Ask Nicely, hosted by me, where I will sit down with old friends, new friends, and we just talk about life. And today, for the past few days and weeks, I've been focusing on talking about singing, and I'm so honored that I get to sit down with a good friend, Charlin Neal, who is an incredible vocal producer, vocal director, vocal arranger, everything you need about vocals. Charlene is your girl, and she is part of Israel and New Breed as well. I met her actually in a deeper conference, worship conference hosted by Israel and New Breed, and she's amazing. She's a mom of three, and she recently had a baby, so she's very busy, and I'm just so honored that she is here with me. So I am going to invite her. Welcome Miss Charlin Neal as she makes her way into this room. So it's such a treat, you guys. It is such an honor. Hello! There she is!
Hi.
With baby!
Yeah, she's hanging out with me today.
Hey, Charlin. It's so good to see you.
You too. How are you?
I am good. How is life? How is baby?
Oh, life is a new journey.
You just recently had like, how old is your baby girl?
Kennedy will be 2 months February.
Oh, wow.
Sorry, will be 2 months April 1st. So she's
That's
still
amazing.
Yeah.
Wow. So during the production of It Feels Like Home, you were pregnant.
Oh yeah, I was pregnant. Both times. The very last time when we did Feels Like Home, the Christmas
one.
I had to sit down a lot. I was breathing hard a lot, just out of
Oh
breath.
my goodness.
Yeah.
Did it affect your vocal range? I heard people say that your range is higher if you're pregnant. I don't know if that's true. That could be a legend. How was it like for you?
I don't know. It stayed the same for me. If
Okay.
I'm already a soprano. If
Yes, you
anything, it made my lower range more deeper. And usually I have
Okay.
a harder time with my lower range, but yeah, it's more rich.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And did it go away after pregnancy?
No.
Okay.
Not at all.
You gained it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, Charlene, thank you so much for sitting with me. I know you have a busy schedule. Yeah, you've got a baby, and so thanks for sitting down and just chatting with me. And I look forward to just catching up as well, because it's been years. It has been years since I saw you.
It has. I think the last time we saw each other was it deeper?
Yeah, I would think it was 2015.
Oh my goodness! Wow.
And like I also told Lois, I used to see you guys every year.
I know. In Indonesia, yes.
Yeah, and then we would travel to Texas to, for deeper conference. And so it was just always a nice reunion, and just to see how everyone is doing and how amazing you guys sound every year.
Oh, thank you.
So, and you went to Asia, I think it was Singapore, where you did some vocal clinics.
Yeah.
It wasn't Indonesia.
I know. I want to get there and do something like that. Definitely.
Yeah, and I saw like was it Singapore and Thailand?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, those people had a treat.
Oh.
With you learning harmony, learning to sing together, like, and that's not very popular in Southeast Asia, but it's so good that when you do make those clinics and you see that they can actually sing 3-part harmony, and they sound really nice together. So thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for that.
You're welcome.
Planting seeds in Asia.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Vocal seeds. I love that. So yeah, I would love to hear just your journey and your process, and some questions that I have about singing that I think would be super helpful for people to just listen to and get a sneak peek of what you're thinking, your journey, your backstory, and I think we're so honored to have you. So yes, can you give us a brief background on how you started singing? I do notice that I do remember of a video post you posted on Facebook, I think, your mom sang. I
Oh
remember like
yeah,
you were standing next to each other and she was singing and I was like, okay, that makes all the sense. No
yeah,
wonder. No
yeah.
wonder Charlotte sings like that. So yes, let us tell us your background of singing.
So I am one of 10 children. My parents had 10 children. Crazy,
Wow.
crazy. We are all musically inclined. It's just a natural thing for us. My mother is a singer. My
Yeah.
father is a singer and a
Yeah.
musician. So music was just a part of our daily life and daily
Yeah.
journey. I'm the fifth, right in the middle. There's 5 girls, 5 boys. We all sing, and then some of us play instruments and whatnot as well.
Yeah.
So we, at a young age, were sharpening each other and didn't realize that we were just helping each other to get better, enhancing
Yeah.
our ears, enhancing our gifts and talents. So by the time I was 4 years old, I was singing on key. By the
Wow.
time I was like 5 years old, 5, 6 years old, we were all singing in unison. By the time I was 8, 9 years old, we were singing in harmony. And
Harmony.
I knew how to pick that up really fast because we were all doing it together all the time, like a little
Yeah.
mini choir. I grew up at a church called St. John Baptist Church. It was a predominantly African American church, and I joined the choir at 12 years old, the youth choir, and then
Mm.
our main choir. And I fell in love with the choir sound based off
Mm-hmm.
of the church I grew up at St. John. It was a large, about 130 member choir, so it was really large.
Yeah.
And there were 3-part harmony, sometimes 4-part, and it made me appreciate singing with other people. With my siblings, we were like a small ensemble, but singing with
Yeah.
a mass amount of people is so powerful. It's so beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
You build community, you build relationship. And I was
Mm-hmm.
a little girl at that time, so it was a lot of the older people pouring into me, encouraging me, and
Yeah.
just uplifting me because
Yeah.
they knew I had a gift and talent, and I didn't realize what I had. I just loved to sing.
Yeah.
And so that's where I started. I told my dad at 9 years old, I said, Dad, I want to be a singer when I grow up. I want to sing. I just loved to
Yes.
sing. Didn't know what I was speaking over my life and didn't know I had the calling. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and so fast forward, I was 19. I was opening up for different artists, Mary and Lee Williams, Spiritual
Mm.
PCs, and Quartet Group. And I was like, I want to do more. Where is the more coming in? And so my dad was always, get your degree first, let singing be after.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
he wasn't surrounded by musicians and singers who did it full time. So he didn't understand and didn't know if I would be able to take care of myself financially,
Yeah.
being a
Yeah.
musician singer. I was 22 years old when I came to the point where I told God, if singing is not the road for me, then I got my degree in communications. I went to school to be a newscaster, reporter,
Oh
and I
wow.
said if music isn't for me, I'll continue to serve at my church because I was serving wholeheartedly with our
Yeah.
youth choir and with our main choir,
Yeah.
helping out and serving and leading. And it was there at a youth workshop I was just serving at. Daniel Johnson of Israel and New Breed was in
Daniel.
town at the workshop, and I've known Daniel since I was 14. I've always been a huge fan of his. He
Mm-hmm.
started off with Andre Crouch, and Andre Crouch is a huge
Yeah.
staple in my family's household. We love Andre Crouch, and
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
he
Yeah.
pulled me to the side and was like, Charlin, I think you would be great for Israel and New Breed. Would you be interested in joining?
Mm.
And I didn't give him an answer right away because, for one, I was finishing up my last class in college,
Mm-hmm.
and I didn't really know Israel and New Breed.
Mm. Oh.
I didn't really know
What
anything
year
about
was
them in
this?
music. Huh?
What year was this?
This was 2007. This was August 2007 in my
Okay.
hometown, Bakersfield.
Okay. All right.
Yeah,
All right.
and I was like, Israel and New Breed. Like, the only song I knew was "Lord, You Are Good," and I was like,
Yes. Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
okay. Like,
It's not a gospel song.
yeah, because
You
all
know.
I
You
was
know what I mean.
accustomed to, yeah, I was only accustomed
But
to
it
the
crossed
gospel song.
over,
Exactly.
and that was the
Exactly.
winning point for Israel at the time,
Yeah.
and still is. You know, he is one of those
Yeah.
pioneer people that was able to cross over. So anyway,
Yeah,
Continue.
that's it. That's it. And so I gave him an answer mid October. I didn't have, I waited for a little while. I prayed about it. I asked my parents what they thought about it because my mom traveled um, in a Broadway show called Hair. And she was like,
Mm.
I don't know if that lifestyle is what I want you to do because I've seen the secular side of it. It wasn't really
Yes. Yeah.
healthy. And
Yeah.
so I ended up joining, and then a week after I joined, 2 weeks after I joined, which was mid October, Daniel called me and was like, "Can you do a date in Trinidad?" And I was like, "Yeah, absolutely."
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
he was like, "Can you get your passport if you haven't had your passport?" And I flew. He asked me the end of October, and I went November 8th. It was that
Mm-hmm.
fast, like a
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
quick ask and go for it. And that was
Yeah.
my first flight. I turned 23. That was my first flight, my first trip, and I've been
Wow.
going forward since then with Israel a New Breed, and
Wow.
it's branched out, open doors for me to work with other artists, which that was my desire, not just to be planted with one ministry, but to just help and serve wherever I could, you know. And so God is just blowing my mind.
From Trinidad all the way to parts of Asia, you never thought, you never dreamed that you would be there.
Never, never in my wildest dreams. No.
And then you're suddenly in Indonesia, in Singapore,
Yeah,
Thailand, all these places.
yeah, yeah.
That's
Totally.
beautiful.
God. Yeah.
I absolutely loved it. So you did mention that music was a huge part of your family legacy. Like it's just part of life.
Yeah.
Any particular music that you listened to growing up that shaped
Well,
you?
my parents were extremely strict. They're Christian strict. So all we listened
Yep,
to was
same
gospel and
here.
Christian music. Yeah. So I
No
had to
secular music in this house.
no. I used to sneak me and my siblings listening into like Boys to Men and Whitney Houston and Stevie
All right.
Wonder, stuff like
When you
that.
said you sneaked out, so what did you do? Did
I
you
would
turn the
put some
car radio on?
headphones,
Oh, okay.
in my ear, acted like I was listening to something else.
But you bought the CDs, you bought the tapes.
Oh yeah,
Oh, look at you. Sneaky, sneaky.
I know.
Did you hide them somewhere?
Yeah, well, me and my siblings, we recycled them amongst each other, so we would pass them off to each other to listen to.
Okay. That is so fun.
I know.
Well, the lengths you have to go to. And I mean, they were quality music. You
Oh
chose
yeah,
like, it was worth it. You know what I mean? It was
absolutely worth
worth
it.
all of
Yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah.
Awesome. Who do you consider is your musical hero?
Ooh, there's a few people, some local and then um, actual artists. So the church I grew up at, our music director and music minister, Don Hicks and Don Factory. Don
Mm-hmm.
Hicks just happens to be my cousin. Don Factory is a family friend of ours for many years. They were extremely, extremely instrumental in me with the choir, learning the
Mm-hmm.
choir, how it works, learning harmony,
Yeah.
learning how to be a choir director, how to
Yes.
love on people, because I'm in that position now. The church I serve at, I'm the choir director, and I'm over our worship teams. And a lot of the things I learned from Don Hicks and Don Factory, I teach now here at
Mm-hmm.
Valley Baptist Church, my home church. So those
Yeah.
two would be my local all-time heroes. I love, and I mean, I absolutely love the old Yolanda Adams. The old
Oh.
Yolanda. Now,
Oh.
it's the difference between what she does now. But the
Yeah.
old Yolanda Adams, the
Yeah.
battle is not, the battle is the Lord's. Just a prayer.
Yes.
I
Yes.
I fell in love with her sound when I was like 9 years old, and I tried to pattern after her.
Mm-hmm.
I tried to
Mm-hmm.
listen to at a young age singers who I could try to sound like and who were
Yeah.
sopranos. My
Yeah.
mom is a soprano. My mom is another hero because
Yeah.
she
Oof.
sings in the rafters. I don't even
She
know how
can
she hit.
sing the
Yeah,
heavens down.
I don't know how she hit some notes. But her, Yolanda Adams, Karen Clark Sheard, I
Yeah.
absolutely love.
Those are
I
all
grew up.
sopranos.
Yeah, and they're good teachers
Amazing
when you
sopranos.
listen to them. Yeah, I always listened to them and tried to mimic what they did. And then my mom always taught me, create your
Yeah.
own sound. You can listen to other people and
Yeah.
do what they do, but mesh your own thing into
Yeah.
to it. So that way people won't say, oh, you're just another Karen Clark, or you're just another Mary Mary
Yeah.
type of thing. You have
Yeah.
your
Yeah.
own thing. So that's who I really listen to. The Winans, Andre
Yeah.
Crouch. I love old
Yeah.
gospel music because that's what my parents played a lot.
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes, of course. How did you find your own sound? Because I mean, mimicking is always a good place to start. It's your
Yeah.
research basically. It's you doing the work, you doing the research. How did you find your own sound?
I think I found it at a young age, but didn't know I found it. Um, like I said, listening to Yolanda Adams, she really helped me in the sense of she wasn't necessarily one who did a lot of riffs like Karen Clark.
Mm-hmm.
So I
Mm-hmm.
tried to balance the two in between.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yolanda Adams was more in your face,
Yes.
aggressive.
Yeah.
While Karen Clark is just sweet but high and all
Yeah.
riffy all over the place. So
Yeah. All over the place. Yeah.
I tried to bring the balance in between the two, and that's how I
Yeah.
created my sound.
Yeah. Oh, I love it.
Yeah,
Would you consider yourself, because I love this, how everybody's different in this spectrum.
yeah,
Would you consider yourself an extroverted singer or more of an introverted singer?
extrovert. That's when you're a bubbly, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Like you
me.
come alive with the center of,
Oh, that's
center
me.
stage, the lights, and people looking at you. And some people are like shy. They're
Yeah,
they're singers, but they're shy when
yeah,
people are, which is ironic, but it exists.
absolutely. I'm an extrovert. Period. I just love to be
Okay.
around people. I love to
Yeah.
speak to people. So when I get on the platform, it's no different. I'm just
Yeah.
pouring out my heart at
Yeah.
that moment.
So at family functions too, when they just ask you, "Hey, sing something," like you would just go for it.
I just go for it.
Yeah.
And because my dad, when we were younger, he used to make us sing. If somebody asked, can your children sing? He would tell us, go sing. So I got used to that.
Okay. And you were comfortable with that?
Comfortable and shy when I was younger. As I got
Okay.
older, I just, it's a part of my life.
Okay.
Yeah.
I find that so funny that parents do that when they
I
know their
know.
kids can sing. They're
I
like,
know.
"Here, go sing. My kids can sing."
Right.
Would you do that to your kids though? That's
I
my
say I
question.
won't, but I may.
Like, would you make your kids do the same thing, endure the same thing that you've
I
had to
know.
endure?
I hope I don't. I hope I don't.
Okay, good to know. That's always fascinating. We say one thing like, "I'll never do that,"
I
when I'm
know.
older, I'll never do that, and then turns out you do the exact same thing.
Right, right.
Oh, that's awesome. Do you have any specific ritual that you do before singing?
If anything, I just pray.
Okay.
And I try to, depending on the event
Do you
or
find
the
a room?
environment, yeah, I try to see what the room is feeling like, who I'm singing to, what
Mm,
am I singing for. That's always a ritual.
yeah.
That way, I know how to approach the event. I may not sing right away an original song. I may need to start it with a hymn, or I may need to start it with
Oh,
a prayer or
wow.
speaking. So I try to really look at what's going on in the room, try to gauge the room first.
Oh, wow. That's
Yeah,
amazing. I love that. That
yeah,
your priority is the spiritual condition or the atmosphere of the room.
yeah,
And because your singing is going to speak into that.
yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
I absolutely love that. Do you have any life hacks when it comes to singing?
Life hacks. Help me out. Give me an
Like
example.
some tricks that some people use. They consume something before they, like one of my life hacks is Ricola, those little menthol honey cough drops. That's a life hack for me. Like, vocal teachers won't recommend it, but you just find out, from experience, like, oh, this is really good before
Yeah,
singing or after singing. Like, Any discoveries you've made?
I think I'm like you. Ricolas are my thing. I keep
Okay.
Ricolas.
Yeah.
I keep Ricolas and throat coat with me everywhere I go.
Okay, throat coat. So
Uh,
apparently that's a thing here in the States that people
yeah,
drink throat coat. Does it do the same? Does it have the same effect as, taking a Ricola, popping it into your mouth?
I think it has a better effect, personally.
Okay.
I know you're not supposed to have warm water while you're singing or whatnot and
Yeah.
recording, but it worked.
Yeah.
It worked for me. Everybody's different. I'll say that. So,
Okay.
um, with like Jesus at the Center, I'll give an example. The Jesus at the
Yes.
Center record that we did, a lot of our voices were gone. New Breed, we were physically tired, so our voices were
Oh,
tired.
wow.
I re-
Okay.
I recall taking throat coat and putting a Ricola in the throat coat,
Mm.
and it opens you up. I was able to do a whole session. We had to do overdubs. I did a whole session with my voice being 100% based off of the throat coat and the Ricola in the
Wow.
throat coat. So like I said, everybody's different, but
Yeah,
that works
yeah,
for
they
me.
are. Yeah.
Yeah,
Which flavor Ricola? Is it the original?
yeah, the
Okay,
original.
yeah. That's the
Yeah,
one I stick with too.
yeah.
It's a secret apparently, guys, and you will just have to discover it along the
Right,
way.
right.
That it actually works.
It
It
does.
just it just soothes you,
Yeah,
the back of your throat. I don't know how to explain it, but it feels really nice.
it does.
So
It
yeah.
does. Yeah.
Anyway, just a quick break
Okay.
of recommendation from the singing conversation. Are there any recommendations of things that you're watching, that you're listening to, eating or wearing that you would just love for people to like? Hey, did you know that this exists? I do want to recommend before you go, Charlene, check out Feels Like Home. I want to
Absolutely.
recommend that.
Absolutely.
Yes, that's an amazing project that Charlene is deeply involved, and so
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
please go and have a listen. Like it's already like number one in Billboard, and so that says a lot about
Yeah.
the heart behind it and just the work that you put into that. So yes, I want to recommend that.
Yeah.
And then one thing that I would love to recommend is I'm late into this. This has been going on for years, but there is a series called What's in the Bible. It's a 10 DVD series for kids, basically dissecting every book of the Bible. And it
Oh,
helps me watch as an adult because they use kids' language and still nerdy, like still scholarly with the explanations of the author and the purpose and, the historical context of each Bible book. And so I just love seeing it. And of course, you have to be creative if you present it to kids. So, What's in the Bible? 10, 10 series DVD. I fully recommend that. So, all right,
awesome.
Charlene, all yours.
I would recommend. I've been listening a lot to Maverick City music.
Okay.
I would say listen to them. Their songs are just free flow worship
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
experiences and moments.
Yeah.
When I first started listening to their music, I was like, man, these songs are super long. But when you get into it, it's like I see why they're super long.
Yes.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Mm-hmm. I did I tell you that I'm in a ministry school in Redding, California? So it's a Bethel
Oh,
ministry school. So a lot of their worship is very much similar to, and I think they're in the same production house too, Bethel
gotcha.
Music and Maverick City. And so, yeah, there are times when people lead worship and, they plan a set of 4 songs, 5 songs, and you end up only doing one because everything else is
Yeah,
just, you know, you're exploring different melodies in the heavenly realms and
yeah,
it's beautiful.
yeah.
Yeah, it's new, but it's beautiful.
It is. It really is. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
So Maverick City, have a listen. Anything else you want to recommend, Charlene? Anything that
Um,
you've eaten or a show that you're watching? Are you a big Netflix or Disney Plus girl?
I am, but I watch a lot of right now since I have a 1 year old. I watch a
Yeah.
lot of Disney movies or Puppy Dog Pals and stuff like
Okay,
that.
okay. Which Disney movies? I'm a big Disney nerd.
I love anything. The other day I watched Princess and the Frog. I
Oh,
tried to get my
yes.
Kyle.
Yes.
Yeah, I tried to get my son Caden on Lion King because he's into animals, but he's just not ready for it yet. So I'm waiting.
Okay. But he would
Yeah,
sit through Princess and the Frog.
for the music portions, absolutely. Yeah,
Okay. Okay. Yeah. I love that. I
yeah,
I love Princess and the Frog. I think it's beautiful artwork
yeah.
and also just beautiful production with music and oh, what's her name again? The voice of Princess Tiana. Anika
Oh,
Noni Rose. Anika
yeah,
Noni Rose.
yeah.
Yes. Did a great job.
He did.
Beautiful job.
Absolutely.
So,
Yeah.
oh, did you watch the new Disney princess, the Southeast Asian Disney princess movie, Raya
No,
and the Last Dragon?
no, I have not watched that yet.
It has lots of references to Indonesia, Malaysia,
Oh,
Singapore, Thailand, Bangkok, Cambodia. Like it's beautiful for me to watch as a Southeast Asian person.
yeah.
Just all the things that are close to home on a Disney, on a big screen with beautiful Disney art. I just think that's cool.
Oh, wow. Yeah,
Yes, I recommend
absolutely.
that too.
Okay.
So anyway, all right, going back to our singing conversation.
Okay.
So Charlene, to like understand you better,
Yeah.
because that means to just so that we understand what you like and what you don't like helps us
Okay.
give a better view of you.
Okay.
So what is your pet peeve when it comes to singing, musicianship, or things in the industry or whatever involved with singing?
I would say uh, people that don't study, that don't not,
Mm-mm-mm.
and I mean the material. You don't
Yeah,
study in advance. They take the rehearsal as the time to
to
actually
study.
learn.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's not the time for that.
Yeah.
The time rehearsal time is just to polish up what you've already.
Yes.
Um, so
Yes.
that is my ultimate pet peeve. My other pet peeve, um, and sometimes we all falter at this.
Yeah.
Don't mind me. I'm a mom and I'm making a bottle for my
Yeah.
daughter.
Oh no, you are
Okay.
nailing this live. This girl is doing her live while making her bottle. No one else
Oh
can do this
gosh.
but you, Charlene, and you're nailing this. So,
Thank you, Rita.
and
Thank
also
you.
talking about pet peeves in musicianship and such.
Yeah.
So,
Another one I would say, I think
Edward.
churches, a lot of churches have gotten comfortable with, over the years, confidence monitors, and we lose focus of actually memorizing the words. There's
Oh
nothing wrong
yes, yes.
with
Okay, I was like
memorizing the
confidence
words.
monitors.
Yeah, the cheat sheet.
Yeah,
We
yeah,
call them a
yeah,
confidence monitor here. Yeah. And so a lot of times, singers, they'll look right at the confidence monitor the entire
yeah.
time that they're singing.
Yes,
You're
yeah.
not even engaged with your audience. You're
Mm-hmm.
not engaged with what's going on in the atmosphere. You're too
Yeah,
worried about the lyrics because you haven't
yeah.
taken the time to study and learn it. So if
Yes.
you study in advance, you should have no problem. You won't even need to look at the words. Sometimes
Mm-hmm.
songs are
Mm-hmm.
wordy. I get it. Sometimes you forget something. I get that. But when it
Mm-hmm.
becomes a crutch all the time, you
Yeah,
got to learn to step away from that. So those would be my two pet peeves.
yeah, yeah. You know what? I had to my cheat sheet for that because my thing is we don't rely on confidence monitors or the LCD screen at the back. My thing is I'm not gonna rely on that because sometimes, well, there have been times when they don't display the lyrics at all or not in the right time. Someone forgot and I don't remember the first lyrics. So I
Got,
remember like working around that and I managed to bring my iPad up.
got you. Yeah.
Bring my iPad up, but then like obviously the first go to is to memorize. And so if I don't memorize, then my iPad would be my fallback. But I would even do mnemonics. Is that it? When you remember the first letter
Yeah.
of the line, and I just try to remember. Oh, it's an abbreviation that sounds like FBI or something. And then
Got you. Yeah.
that would because I think for most people, if you remember the first line, then you're good to go.
Yeah.
because everything else is muscle memory, right? You've already gone through
Absolutely.
the rehearsal. So if you
Yeah.
just remember the first line, that'll be you're good.
Yeah.
You're set.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah.
What are your memorizing tricks, Charlotte?
Over the years, well, before I was even a mom, um, and I still do this now, but I
Yeah,
had more time to myself. I would listen to I just like to listen to the music to get a feel
yeah,
for it. What is the lead saying? What is the background saying? What is
yeah,
the music doing?
yeah,
Because I just love the whole process of that.
yeah.
Um, I listen to songs over and over again until I start to memorize at least the format of it. Not necessarily the lyrics, but the format.
Okay,
What's first? The
okay.
lead, the verse one, the chorus,
Yeah,
then verse two, the chorus, learning that, and then the lyrics come eventually.
yeah.
Um, with parenting, I try to listen to it while I'm doing laundry. While
Okay, look at
I'm doing
you.
laundry,
Yes,
you got to learn to do it when you can. You know what I'm saying? So
yes.
but I stick to that process because it just helps me. I just listen to it over and over again. I'll sometimes listen to it when I'm sleeping because
Yeah,
it's a muscle memory thing. It just automatically you begin to
yeah,
memorize
yeah,
everything.
yeah.
Um, and then I like to, on purpose, either in my notes in my phone or
Mm-hmm,
just a pen and paper, I'll
mm-hmm.
literally write the lyrics down. That way I can
Okay.
see it when I write it. I'll
Mm-hmm.
study it a few times and then I'll put the lyrics away and try to make myself memorize what I wrote down. So
Yeah.
that's how I my process.
Wow.
Yeah.
Intentionality, people. It's
Yeah.
worth it. The
Yeah.
song is worth studying. What
Yeah.
we do in singing, it's worth all that work and
Yeah.
effort, because you want to present the best. Like you want to know that you've approached this with everything you've got,
Yeah.
including our memory when it comes to lyrics.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So you mentioned something about learning the sections first.
Yeah.
So if there's a solo, if there's a verse one, and then a chorus, and everything that goes after. I do wonder, do you have a rule of thumb? Like, let's say if you didn't rehearse something, do you have a rule of thumb of when to come in with harmony? Do you usually do repeat stuff twice in unison before breaking out in harmony?
You know, I don't have a rule of thumb only because it would depend on what the music is doing. If
Yeah,
the if, and if the lead has already sung, it depends on the music, what the music is doing, and what the
yeah,
lead has already done.
yeah,
So, say for instance, if the lead has already done verse one and a chorus by
mm-hmm,
themselves,
yeah,
then I'll come in with background in unison,
yeah,
but um, include some vocal extra stuff in that verse and then make it bigger in the chorus type of
yeah,
thing.
yeah,
But sometimes um, if the song is already big, if the lead has already done a verse one and they're
mm-hmm,
wanting something big, then I'll come in right away with parts
yeah,
in the chorus. So it really
yeah,
depends on what the lead is doing and what the music is doing.
yeah,
With New Breed, our thing, Israel for the most part leads everything,
yeah,
and I learned this with Daniel. When you're introducing something for a congregation, the audience to sing along, you want them to sing the unison part, the unison, the
yeah,
melody. So
yes,
that's what we start off with, just so it can be introduced. They have it in their head. They know, okay, that's the part that I need to sing.
yeah,
Then the second time around, we do our own extra harmonies and all that type of
yes,
stuff.
yes,
But
yeah.
the congregation knows the
Knows the
unison.
melody. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. I love that.
yeah.
Someone asked, what is your rehearsal frequency, days per week, etc.?
For myself, who asked that?
SO Pat 45.
Hey, how are you, sis? And how are you, Edward? I saw you. So, um, like I said, I'm the choir director here at my home church, Valley Baptist
Yeah,
Church. We rehearse every Tuesday. Prior to that, I had a separate rehearsal for our worship team on Monday nights. Then they would rehearse Tuesday nights. we would rehearse Tuesday nights, and then choir rehearsal would be Wednesday nights. COVID
Yep.
has changed all of that. So
Yes.
we're starting fresh with Tuesday rehearsals. And the worship team, we're all on Tuesday. But I have to try to figure out when to connect with the worship team now that we've transitioned everything to Tuesdays. For me
Yeah.
personally, when I'm rehearsing, say for instance for the if it's a live recording of some sort, because I don't want to say a studio session, because a lot of times those songs I'm getting them on the spot.
Yeah.
So there's no time to rehearse. I sing with your brother, Kristen. Yes, yes. Okay, I know you definitely. Good to see you.
Yay.
If it's a live recording of any sort or anything like that, my rehearsal would be literally listening to it in the car, doing laundry while I'm cooking, and just
Yeah.
constantly singing it over and over again.
Yeah.
And what I try to do, if I mess up while I'm practicing, then I try
Mm-hmm.
to restart the song all over
Yeah.
until I at least one time in my rehearsing get the song from beginning to end without any
Yeah.
flaw.
Yeah. No
That helps
hiccups.
me. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, so good. How would you, let's say for choir, if choir is to sing on a certain day, how many rehearsals do they need for that day, for that event? How many times
Depends on
meeting?
It depends on your choir. We rehearse every Tuesday, even though
Yeah.
we sing only once or twice a month. But
Yeah.
what we need here is every Tuesday. It
Okay.
helps because a lot of my singers are sheet music singers. They're
Mm.
not ear training. They don't
Yeah.
understand. They're not. I don't want to say they don't understand it. They're not accustomed to it. They're used to
Yes.
sheet music in front of their face. So in order
Yeah.
for me to make sure they're comfortable, make
Mm-hmm.
sure that they feel appreciated, because
Yeah.
sometimes I don't do sheet music. Sometimes I
Yeah.
purposely have them learn it, ear training kind of thing,
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
it gives them the month to learn it, to practice it, and then if they have any questions, they can reach out to me anytime.
Yeah. Oh, that's really good. So it's
Yeah,
just continuously rehearsing,
yeah,
regardless if you have an event or not coming
yeah,
up. But at this point, you do have once a month or twice a month.
yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah,
I love that, and it keeps people, in the loop of
it does.
rehearsing. So there no pause, no
Yeah,
stagnant moments of, oh, I
yeah,
forgot what did I sing? What's
exactly.
my part
Yeah,
again?
yeah.
So
Absolutely.
those are familiar questions we get from choir. Oh, what's my part? What's my part? And
Yeah,
lean in closer to the stronger person,
right,
you
right.
know? So yeah, it's fun. Choir is fun.
It
I love
is.
it.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Are there any huge learning moments that you have experienced?
There's
A
always,
huge, yeah,
always,
but let's,
always.
what about a huge, it really stood out for you?
I'll say this. When I first started with New Breed, well, I'll rewind even further. Growing up here in my hometown and at my home church, because I was so skilled at a young age, nobody ever took me to the side and said, "You're very skilled, but these are some things you can work
Yeah,
on
yeah,
vocally." So
yeah.
when I joined New Breed, I did not know that I had a problem with singing sharp. Um,
Singing
fast
sharp.
vibrato, yeah, fast vibratos tend, when you have a fast vibrato, you tend to go sharp. When you
I
have
see.
a slower vibrato, you tend to go flat. So
Yeah,
my
okay.
vibrato was fast.
Yeah,
So we were in Japan singing, and Daniel, it was myself, Daniel, and two other New Breed singers, and I remember this so well. We were singing "Rejoice."
mm,
And rejoice in the Lord always.
mm-hmm.
The end of the song,
Rejoice. Yeah,
rejoice. So that's the soprano part.
yeah, yeah. Rejoice.
And you're holding that note the
Yeah,
entire time.
yes, you are.
And so I was going, rejoice, almost
Okay, I
going in a
see.
whole different
Yeah,
key.
yeah.
And so
Just half a
afterwards,
step.
yeah, Daniel pulled me to the side and he was like, "You didn't hear that?" And I was like, "I didn't hear what?" And he was like, "Char, you were going sharp. Like you weren't even on the note. You were going above the note, and you
Yeah,
can't do that."
Yeah.
And so I really started to pay attention to that after he said that, because nobody ever told me that. I
Yeah.
started to really pay attention to that, really pay attention to my vibrato.
Yeah.
I tried from then on. I tried to say, okay, how do I um, make slow my vibrato down a little to help with the sharpness, so that way I can focus on not going sharp. And ever since then, I really, that's my thing. I'm really trying to focus on sitting on the note. He always, Daniel says, sit on the note, like literally sit on it.
Yeah.
Don't go above or below it. Just sit right on it. So that's what I try to do. That was my big learning curve. Another learning curve for me was when I accepted my position here at my home church.
Mm-hmm.
They are it's a predominantly Caucasian church. We are multicultural, but it's
Okay.
predominantly Caucasian.
Okay. Okay.
It's a large church. The choir, however, is 50 years old and older for the most part. So
Ooh.
50 years old and older, and sheet music readers.
Oh.
So
Oh, I
when
get it now, Charlene. Oh, it all okay. Context. Yes.
so
I
when
get
I
it.
took the position, um, I I was ultimately discouraged. Why? The pastors hired me because they wanted to incorporate just freshness, newness, and
Mm-hmm.
um, a change kind of thing.
Yeah.
When I took it,
Diversity too,
I
probably.
said, yeah, and all of that has changed. Praise God. I'm grateful
Yeah.
for that.
Yeah.
But it was a learning experience because, for one, yes, I do read music, but for me, I like to do just the ear training. I'm quick with that, and
Yeah.
I'm able to teach people better in that regard as opposed to sheet music.
Yeah.
Sheet music, for me and for the choir, they were stuck in the music,
Mm-hmm.
and that was it. Once they saw the notes and sang the notes, that was it. There was no dynamics of any sort. And
Okay.
so that was a huge learning experience for me. Why? Because, for one, they're all older.
Mm-hmm.
And they've been in the choir much longer than I've been here at the
Yeah.
church.
Yeah.
So I had to learn how to respect and honor
Mm-hmm.
the
Yeah.
fact that they've been serving for so long.
Yeah.
That had nothing to do with my voice.
Yeah.
That had everything to do with how I treated them, how I loved
Yeah.
on them.
Yeah.
And once I came to that, once we got over that hurdle, then I started incorporating, okay, let's try, if I sing this back to me. And
Yeah.
that's how we've been working it. I include sheet music sometimes, and then
Mm-hmm.
sometimes I'm like, here's the voice memos. You have a
Yeah.
month to learn it. If you have any
Yes,
questions,
voice memos
yeah, if you
for
have any
parts,
questions,
hey?
yeah. And
Yeah,
4-part
that's how we
harmony,
do it.
I'm having to record bass parts. Like,
Yeah.
that's not my area, but it is
Yeah.
my area now because,
Yeah.
this is what.
Yeah.
You still
Yeah.
there?
Oh, wow, Charlotte.
Okay.
I'm there. I am here. We paused for a little bit for, I think it was a Wi-Fi connection or something. Someone is
Yeah.
asking, how would you introduce new songs for the worship team? Or how long should it be before introducing new songs to the congregation and team on stage?
Okay. I would say, if you're introducing a new song for your team, first of all, um, I'll say this: our worship pastor here is really good at introducing songs, one at a time, at least
Yeah.
once a month or once every other month, type of thing.
Yeah.
For our congregation, that's what we need. Every
Yeah.
congregation is different, though, but for us,
Yeah.
it's good for us.
Yeah.
What we've been doing, we learn the songs, and then we do an actual music video of the songs, putting it on
Mm.
social media, and
Yeah.
sending it out on our church website, so the church can listen to it. They can get acclimated with it. So by the time we sing it on a Sunday, they already have it in their head. Oh, okay, that song is "The Battle Is the Lord's," or "Yes,
Yeah.
I Will," type of thing. So
Yeah.
that's what we do here, and it works. So you really have to learn your
Yeah.
congregation, what
Yeah.
works for the congregation, because everybody's different.
Yeah, yeah. I've heard of congregations that chose one new song for a month for that particular month, and
Yeah.
every set list, every service, that new song will be sung in the service.
Wow.
So for an entire month, they're going to be singing that every week.
Got
You
you.
know, different
Yeah.
churches try different things, so you just
Yeah.
have to find that
You have
sweet
to
spot
find it.
that
Mm-hmm.
works, and
Yep.
you do have to go out of your way to
Oh,
get it,
all
you
the
know.
time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you do. You can't just leave it out there. No, like you have to
Yeah.
take full ownership. Okay, we're going to engage with the congregation. How can
Yeah.
we, you know, get everybody on board? How do we
Yeah.
make this feel, you know, get familiar with the
Yeah.
song? So,
Absolutely.
yeah, it's a journey.
It is.
You'll
It
figure it
is.
out.
Yes. Oh,
um,
I'm seeing
are
all the
there?
people. Hi,
Yeah.
Lily. Priestley. Hi.
Woohoo!
These are my family, my friends
Yes, yes,
from
yes.
afar.
That's beautiful. I love it. So, are there any insecurities that you've had to overcome as a
uh,
singer or someone in ministry, or, you know,
yeah,
in this
yeah.
context?
I'll say, you always people. It. I'll speak on my behalf. You always try to compare to what is the latest, or whomever you're surrounded by. And for
Yeah.
me, when I first joined Newbury, it was a good learning experience. Um, Everybody is skilled in New Breed. Everybody has some type of skill level, and
Yeah.
at first I was extremely intimidated because
Yeah.
has a total. Everybody's different, but when you bring it all together, it's phenomenal. So I had to
Mm-hmm.
learn how to not compare myself to any soprano, alto, or tenor. I just
Yeah.
learned how to stay in my area, what works for me, what doesn't work for
Mm-hmm.
me, and then glean and learn off of them. So I
Mm-hmm.
had to learn how to overcome comparison, not to
Yeah.
compare myself to anybody, and just be grateful for what God has given me and use it to the fullest of my ability.
Oh, so good. When was the shift for you?
Um, I joined when I was 23. I'll say when I was about 26, 3 years into the group. That's when I said, okay, do you, Charlin?
Yeah.
Do you stop trying to compare? Stop trying to
what
compare because
what
I
was
could
the aha
feel.
moment like?
When I came to the realization that Israel and New Breed is a movement. It's not about, oh, Charlin Neal was asked to be a part and now she's some phenomenal person. No, at any
Mm-hmm.
point in time, somebody else can join, and I could be asked to be out of the group. I had
Mm-hmm.
to. It was a comparison was my problem, and also putting myself on a pedestal. And I
Yeah.
didn't realize I was putting myself on a pedestal. It had nothing to do with the vocal ability, because
Mm-hmm.
everybody in New Breed has great vocal ability. I
Yeah.
had to come to the grips with, okay, is my heart in the right place?
Yes.
Otherwise, if it's not, then Israel is not going to be calling you eventually, because
Yeah.
your your flesh is starting to get in the way.
Yeah.
I could feel
Yeah.
it, and I was like, God,
Yeah.
help me, help me
Yeah.
to chill and to realize that this is a movement, and I just need to be here to
Yes.
serve and to help any way that I can.
Yeah. Yeah. Because then you'll be hard to work with if that's something that
Absolutely,
you can't
absolutely.
overcome. You know,
No, and
if you're always, yeah.
yeah, nobody wants to work with somebody who's full of themselves.
Yeah. It's
Yeah,
real. This
yeah,
is real stuff. I mean, this is the real struggles we all go through, especially as someone, you know, who works with music artists, with creatives. Like, it's so easy to fall into the temptation of like, oh, how am I comparing to this? How is my craft better? Or,
yeah,
you know, it's
yeah.
it's easy to also feed off from people's affirmation, from the applause too, and the feedback and all those things.
Absolutely.
It's easy to fall into that. So when you have that aha moment, like, actually, I'm just going to stay in my lane. I know what God has deposited in me,
Yeah,
and I'm going to be faithful in stewarding that. And I can celebrate other people without
yeah,
it being at the cost of me. It doesn't have to be
yeah,
about me. You know,
yeah.
your bigness, your greatness will not affect my bigness and my greatness.
Absolutely,
I can
absolutely.
celebrate people and support them and not have to feel insecure about it. So
Yeah,
yeah, that
yeah,
is major lesson to be learned. And
yeah.
when we can, you know, overcome that, we will be so nice to work with. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
People will enjoy working with us, you know, because
Yeah.
they don't feel
Seriously.
threatened. They don't feel like they need to, you know, up you, or be better, or whatever it is, top
Yeah.
your single, top your vocal ability, whatever. But
Yeah.
they can be themselves.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely. Absolutely.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
wisdom. What would you tell your 20-year-old self if you can go back in time? Not in a regretful kind of way, but like, how would you encourage your 20-year-old self that maybe someone is experiencing the same thing?
Got you. I would tell my 20-year-old self to learn my craft, take time with it, study it even more, um, learn and appreciate vocal producing
Yeah.
then as opposed to now. Because I've only appreciated it for the last 7 years, not realizing this would be one of my bigger callings,
Yeah.
vocal producing for artists and whatnot. And I should have been doing it a long time ago.
Yeah.
So learn that, listen to other artists, secular and gospel, Christian, all kinds, because it helps. It helps in the approach of any music. The different genres, what they're wanting, what artists want, what they require. I
Mm-hmm.
would tell myself to um, enjoy the process. I would tell myself to learn the business side because I didn't at first.
Yeah.
I would tell myself to not be afraid to speak up and say, "Hey, I'm Charlin Neal. I can do this. I can do that."
Yeah.
Because a
Yes.
lot of times I was just riding the wave instead of speaking up.
Mm.
Um, I would tell myself that you people are always looking at you, so make sure you are shining all the
Yeah.
time, all the time, off stage, even more, because that's where
It
you
speaks
are
louder.
more effective. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. What
yeah,
you do off stage, what you're like off stage, speaks louder in many, many times than,
absolutely,
what people see on stage. That's very
absolutely.
good. Very
Yeah,
good. I can close out with this question. How does your faith play a role? Obviously, it plays a huge role, but, you
it's
know,
everything.
I would
Yeah.
just love to hear you unpack that. How does your faith play a role in singing?
um, Faith without works is dead. Um, and I learned that young, and to speak over whatever you believe God has called you to do. I told my dad I was going to do this at 9 years old, and he didn't.
Mm-hmm.
Not that he didn't believe me; he just didn't understand.
Yeah.
And if I wouldn't have spoke that, and if I wouldn't have pursued that, I wouldn't be doing this now. I'd be in the newsroom reporting and
Yes.
and that's not what I wanted to do, but I was good
Yeah.
at it, and I
Mm-hmm.
just did it because I was good at it. But
Mm-hmm.
um, speak over your life, whatever you feel God has called you to do, and write down whatever you're wanting to do. The Bible says to write down the vision and make it plain.
Yeah.
But if you haven't written it down, if you haven't made any plans on how to go about pursuing what God has called you to do, it's not going to happen. For one, you're not putting into faith, you're not putting into practice what God has called you to do. Faith without works is dead. He has to see you make the move as well.
Yeah.
Peter walked on the water. He uh, sunk a little, but he walked. He
Yeah.
made that step out. And I've learned to continue to make the step. My whole music life has been a faith walk. Why? Because a lot of people want to do this, but don't
Yeah.
understand what it takes. And um, like I said, I spoke it and God allowed it to happen. So I stopped putting God in a box
Yeah.
about 12 years ago when I learned, okay, I can travel singing and make a living off of this, and I can pour into people, not just vocally, but I can go to Nigeria or go to
Yeah.
Sweden and speak to people and speak over their lives. Like,
Mm-hmm.
this is what I'm supposed to be doing, God. So I'm not going
Yes.
to put you in a box, God. If you want me to go somewhere, and
Yeah.
I write down everywhere I feel like God is wanting me to go, and everywhere that I write down, God allows that to happen. I
Wow.
write down now that I've been married for almost 8 years now, I wrote down right in the beginning when we first got married, I want my husband
Mm-hmm.
to travel with me. I want this to
Mm-hmm.
be a thing where we do it together, where our children travel, and
Yeah.
we've done that. I've written
Wow.
that down. I've crossed that off, and I continue to do that because I don't put God in a box anymore. Based off of
Yes.
the opportunity of Israel and New Breed, I've
Yeah.
been able to produce for other people outside of Israel and New Breed because I
Yeah.
wrote it down. So
Yeah.
everything is a faith walk. I'm constantly saying, you know what, God, I want to do this if it's your will. And at the same time, we have to
Yeah.
realize it may not be his will, period,
Yeah.
or it may not be his will at the moment. But if
Yeah.
you keep doing it, keep praying about it, he'll
Yeah.
reveal it and he'll open the doors in time.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
another thing I would tell my 20-year-old self.
Yeah.
Don't try to open doors when God has closed them. And I tried to do that so many times.
Mm.
And I had so many setbacks and heartbreaks thinking, okay, maybe singing is not the thing.
It's
And
not.
it's
Yeah.
been the thing
Yeah.
the whole time, but I was
Mm-hmm.
trying to make it work. And he was
Yeah.
saying, no, Charlene, first of all, you're not spiritually ready. And that's
Mm-hmm.
why the doors were closing. And I'm so, so, so grateful that he
Yeah.
closed those doors because I
Yeah.
literally wouldn't be here doing this, you know?
Yeah.
So faith,
Yeah.
faith, faith is everything, not just in music. You're using it to pursue anything you want to do,
Mm-hmm.
you know?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, sorry.
That's
Just
so good. No, I love it. I love it so much. Just how you partnered with God,
yeah,
participating in the writing it down, this is what I want. This is, what my desire. And at the same time, submitting it also to his timing and his will. But
yeah,
just the dance, you know what I mean? It's not just like I'm passively not doing anything, but I'm also not over planning to the dot,
yeah,
like this is what I
yeah.
need to be doing at 35, this is what I need to be doing at 40. It's
Right.
not rigid like that. So I love hearing that process for you, and it's encouraging to hear that, hey, you can also write it down. You can also write down the desires of your heart, your vision, where
Yeah,
you want to
absolutely.
steward this gift that God has given you, and the calling, because we don't want to be like that servant who digs a hole in the ground and just like,
Yes.
oh, my master is evil and I'm scared. And
Yeah, absolutely.
we
Yeah.
don't want to be that too. So it's like this invitation to write it down, to dream big with God, and at the
Yeah,
same time submitting it under his, beautiful
absolutely.
and perfect will for your life. So
Yes.
thank you, Charlene. Thank you so much for taking your time and to sit
You're
with
welcome.
me, everyone that's tuning in and answering questions, and just dropping some truth bombs, wisdom, that hopefully we don't have to, people don't have to make the same mistakes, and
Yeah,
can learn, and just hearing from people's stories so they
yeah,
don't have to repeat the long journey. But if that's
yeah.
what God needs for you to do, then enjoy that too.
Right. Very
you
true.
know
Very
it's
true.
all necessary anyway for us to
Yeah.
be more and more Christ-like, and just to do the things that he has purposed us to do. So whatever
Yeah.
that takes and however long that takes. So
However long. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, thanks so much, Charlene. So everyone check
Thank you.
out Charlene's project with Israel and New Breed. Is there anything else that we can check out that's your material? You have an EP from 2016, or is
Yes.
it
Yes. Yes.
2015, which is beautiful, because then you
Thank
see
you.
Charlene singing the whole entire song, like 6 songs, 5 or 6 songs, and it's
Bye.
just, yeah, it's just amazing. And we would love for more. We're ready for more.
Okay.
So, is
Yeah.
there any contact for vocal production if they are interested, if people are interested, or is it just
Absolutely.
your Instagram direct message?
They can actually, you can direct message me on Instagram, or you can email me at charlinneal@gmail.com.
All
Let me
right.
shout out, let's see who's on here. My
Yes.
sister, Shanika, Jean. Hi, cousin Jean. Lily, my
Oh.
sister from Trinidad.
Woohoo.
Um, Paris. Hi, Paris. Paris, everybody. If you don't know who Paris is, please go to his page. That's all I need to say.
Okay.
Um, Haley. Haley is my other sister. Kristen.
Oh,
Hi, Kristen.
it's a
That's
reunion.
my younger brother. Yes.
Oh, look at the
Janae. That's my
reunion.
sister. Hey, Nee. Oh, Kelsey. I love you guys. I can keep
Oh,
going on, but thank you so much, Frida, for having me.
oh, thank you, Charlene. Have a great rest of the day.
Thank
Blessings
you.
on
You
you and your
too.
family and all your future endeavors.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye,
Much
everyone.
love from me. Bye,
Love you too.
everybody. Bye.